Alright, how's it going, my magnificent sons of bitches? And for the most part, on Twitter, they're trying to make out like, obviously, Kamala has a snowball's chance in hell of winning. Not only that, they're trying to make it seem like Kamala Harris is up in the polls. And for the most part, I'm going to go ahead and level with you. I have an actual job where I have to leave work and go ahead and coexist with other motherfuckers in the real world. And so I kind of got a pretty good understanding because I don't work at like a small hole in the wall mom and pop shop. Work in a pretty well trafficked, high trafficked area. So I got a pretty good consensus every day, day in and day out, of really how people interact with each other and what people are talking about and some of the buzzes and whatnot. So I can kind of understand exactly. And there is no place more fucking delusional than the fucking shills that still pretend like Twitter is some sort of metric to go ahead and use for the general opinion, the zeitgeist of this fucking nation. And so I wanted to go ahead and go over and explain this a little bit better and exactly why the Democrats, not only are they losing, they're losing abysmally this election, and really the Republicans don't have to do anything. Why would you want to go ahead and debate these motherfuckers? You can go ahead and give them a platform and let them spill out all of their ridiculous rhetoric. They don't understand how cringy they are. And this isn't just from the Republicans. This is from everybody. From everybody. You've marginalized, even the liberals, they're starting to marginalize. They're starting to sit there and say that the liberals are fascist. So you label everybody. So you're talking about a small group of progressives that are vocally out there really doing more damage to the Democrat Party than they are doing any kind of helping it. So most of these people are largely Gen Zers and millennials who have very little to no life experience whatsoever. They're the ones running the campaigns, particularly for the left. And so, since they don't have any real life experience, it's hard for them to connect. We can go ahead and look at the algorithms on the internet and see how they're abysmal nowadays. Since their platforms are being pushed out, and basically everything looks like a mimic or a cheap shot. So it's really kind of hard to interact with these people because they have no real, they're socially awkward and they don't have any real understanding because they don't have the same kind of life experience that a lot of us Gen X and later have had. They just don't have that. They've been protected, they've been sheltered. They only understand politics from the damn a video game or an anime or something ridiculous. So their understanding on how the social dilapidation of society really is, they really don't have, even the ones on the right really don't really understand. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand because for the most part they've been labeling us bigots, homophobes, to keep us from this. But unfortunately, we are at the point of no return. There's no turning back. You're not going to go back to getting normal. That's never going to happen. All right? So you're just going to go ahead and double down. And as far as me, I'm not voting. However, with this being said, if I was to go ahead and persuade you and get an endorsement from me, it would be Donald Trump. It's not going to be the Democrats. I don't see any I see a necessity in Donald Trump, the party, society moving away from the leftist communist shithole that is the Democrat Party. And the further we can get away, which, mind you, that Donald Trump is a small step of getting away, we need to go a hell of a lot further than where we are right now. A step is still a step. And so ultimately, if you're going to vote, I go ahead and say if you want to go ahead and make your vote as constructive as you can, you would go ahead and vote for Donald Trump and not fucking the gaslighting, fucking race baiting, fucking diversity hire that they're going to implement to go ahead and call you a misogynist because you know you're going to get a bunch of fucking garbage legislation and they don't have to hold themselves to a standard with Kamala Harris. You understand what I'm saying? And you know that this is exactly what it's going to be, because whenever they can't debate themselves, they'll just call you a bigot, racist, homophobe, and every other kind of fucking phobe. Because they don't have any real good ideas and they don't have any intentions of making your lives any better. So, here are the top 10 fucking reasons why nobody likes the Democrats, why everybody detests the party, particularly anybody who's not a fucking communist, progressive ideologue, is never going to go ahead and invest in this fucking media oligarch you got going on right here. So this is number 10 right here, which is the 34 criminal fucking indictments. You've been running with a kangaroo court, and ultimately society overwhelmingly has told you time and time again, whether it be these 34 indictments, whether it be the fucking Russia hacking gate, whatever the fuck you've been running for the past, 16 fucking years, whether it be the January 6th operation and shit like that, people are getting tired of it. Nobody can take you seriously. You have no business being in a position of authority if nobody is going to go ahead and take you serious. We don't respect your authority. Therefore, you're going to have to sit there and win our respect. You've got to win our trust. You've got to win our confidence. And commies are incapable of going ahead and acclimating it. Unfortunately, for you fucking communists, you don't have enough power to go ahead and overthrow this country. You can go ahead and sit there and say, oh, well, we need to go ahead and put criminal charges on you, and you're a propagandist Russian agent, and you've been calling me this shit, and I don't give a fuck, all right? I don't respect any of your fucking opinions at all. And I guarantee you that a majority of the fucking anarchists, the anti-federalists, the libertarians, the independents, the constitutionalists, and the Republicans and conservatives, and every ideology in between have no respect for your leadership and your authority. So therefore, it becomes a subordinate nation, which is where we're at right now. So yeah, the 34 indictments is at number 10. So we'll go ahead and go on. And what is this? This is your censorship and propaganda. Which I'm going to get into the propaganda aspect later on, but this is mainly the censorship that you implemented after you implemented the propaganda, which is your counterterrorism propaganda bullshitty bill that you went ahead. And mind you that this is a Republican policy. However, it's been the Democrats that have been using this to go ahead and control most of these platforms and whatnot, and to go ahead and censor most of the free speech on most of these fucking platforms. Regardless of if your opinion is accurate, there used to be a higher level of videos out here, a higher level of information, particularly on YouTube. Now it's dumbed down to the lowest common denominator. It's dumbed down to cheap reactionaries reacting on the internet and trying to, and so much so, this is why the YouTube views are going down. This is why all of the fucking leftists and all the fucking secular people are sitting there crying about Christian content and right-wing content being pushed by YouTube out there. YouTube is still trying to salvage some kind of fucking audience. There was never any market for any of your leftist rhetoric at all. There was a very, very small market for it to begin with. And for them to go ahead and appeal to the minority, which you go ahead and claim that you're there to go ahead and advocate for the minority, to go ahead and promote material that only a minority of the population might be interested in, is absolutely fucking ridiculous. But you have to go out and then suspend, ban, terminate accounts for those of us who are going out there, putting out information, putting out truth, putting out a different perspective, having a different opinion than the mainstream population bullshitty opinions, and saying how these are probably not conducive to your life. Well, guess what? You have to go out and censor everybody. And this is where we're at right now. So yeah, this is probably at number 9 is all the censorship that you've done. At number 8, we have the Russiagate shit, which you've been trying to push us into some sort of global conflict with it. But nobody respected the Russiagate shit, as you can tell by this meme right here. But you used this Russiagate shit not only to go ahead and try to instigate a conflict with two superpowers, you went ahead and used this to go ahead and label your own citizens as Russian spies, Russian agents, to go ahead and accuse everybody of half of the shit that you did. You don't talk about any of the uranium one shit. You don't go ahead. You don't talk about the fucking the fucking plot to overthrow the Ukrainian government by Kiev and the Svoboda Party. You know, you sit there and talk about how everybody else is a Russian agent trying to go ahead and infiltrate the United States government because you have an agenda. You're profiting off of companies like Burisma. You're throwing in tax money into a fucking, these tax shelters, these fucking shelters to go ahead and get large kickbacks from the Ukrainian government and whatnot. So you don't give a fuck about the American people. You don't give a fuck about the Ukrainian people. And you damn sure don't give a fuck about the Russians. You have no business making any kind of fucking decisions because in reality you were never fucking elected. Nobody was picking the fucking Democrats, and this goes back from the 2016 election. You never won a fucking popular vote. You haven't won a popular vote until Obama since 1968. And you've never been the party of fucking democracy. Nobody's gonna go out and go for these fucking nationalist motherfuckers that want to go ahead and accumulate as much rights from you as they can so they can have more control. Nobody's going to go ahead and get involved in this fucking bullshit that you're trying to pull over everybody. But you go ahead and use these little fucking cliches like the Russians and stuff like that to go ahead and try and slander people and try to say, but you have no fucking confidence, all right? Nobody's putting any confidence in you. We think you're a fucking joke. You've already killed the term bigot and all this other stuff. So nobody gives a fuck about your Russiagate shit. But this is another one of the reasons why people don't trust you. So then we go into your fucking medical apartheid that you fucking threw in 2020. Now, granted, once again, Trump was a main player in pushing for this shit, and I damn sure go ahead and hold Trump accountable. This motherfucker should be getting booed every time he talks about Operation Warp Speed. You know what I'm saying? But you go ahead and use this in various ways and methods. First off, to go ahead and create a medical apartheid, which you were trying to get people kicked out of the ERs and stuff like that. And you create this big fucking calamity where you get to go ahead and lock people down just so you can go ahead and attack our United States dollar by going ahead and pushing for a unpopular stimulus fucking package. So this is absolutely fucking insane. Nobody's gonna ever put fucking confidence in the fucking in the fucking left again and in these institutions. You absolutely fucking destroyed the fucking credibility of these NGOs. Absolutely destroyed it. And I still know motherfuckers that don't even want to go to the fucking doctor anymore because of this bullshit that you pulled. So don't tell me that, you're, with your little euthanasia fucking projects, that people gotta sit there and support you for any fucking thing. Then you get, what was the result of that fucking medical apartheid? Your fucking Keynesian economics, your fucking overloading of the economy, the inflation of our dollar, because you decided that, you were pushing stimulus back from 2013, which I've done videos for, saying that this is going to cause inflation, but you went ahead and doubled down on that shit back in the fucking seeds were probably planted when you rigged the fucking 2018 midterm primaries. And mind you, leftist Democrats, they think, oh, a woman's right to choose. That shit went out the window whenever they pushed the fucking medical apartheid, because a woman didn't have the right to choose whenever there was a fucking vaccination. There was a lot of them that lost their fucking jobs. So as a result of this, you go ahead, drop all this stimulus money into the economy, and then all of a sudden you get all this inflation going on. You get, now. So this is why the price of everything's going up. This is why you do your Inflation Reduction Act, which is going to make some companies go ahead and have to close up shop, which is going to increase cost. But you go ahead and look at any fucking Democrat-run area, and it's high crime, high poverty, high unemployment. Because the Democrats don't create anything. They're a form of fucking pestilence. So then we go into here, and we go for, like, the war rhetoric and shit like that. You're beating the war of drums. The Democrats haven't changed since the fucking 1940s, 50s, or 60s. They claim that they're not white nationalists in the southern, the southern strategy by the Republicans and the sides flipped. And no, you have never fucking changed. You are still the white fucking nationalist. Probably not the white nationalist anymore, but you're still the fucking fascist that you call everybody else. And let's be real, it's the Democrats that were responsible for getting us into World War I. They were responsible for getting us into World War II. They were responsible for getting us into Korea, Vietnam, all of these major conflicts that cost millions and millions of lives, not only here, but around the fucking world, largely was the fucking results of the Democrats. And we can see right now with your whole 4 years that you were able to go ahead and rig the fucking government, because you'll never win another fucking election. You'll never win that confidence of the American public back again. We can see right now the desperation with you trying to go ahead and start conflicts with Israel and Palestine, which there shouldn't be any fucking conflicts because they're neighbors and they've lived peacefully up until now, until the fucking Democrats have gotten in charge. And then the Ukrainians and the Russians, which you went ahead, sent in proxy groups like Zavoda to go ahead and cause up a conflict, and you want to go ahead and get us into war with the fucking Russians. You know, but there's only one problem. Nobody has any confidence to go ahead and join you in this war fever, so if you fucking media shills and you fucking politicians that try to push for this shit want to go ahead and join the military and go to war, be my guest. But you don't get to go ahead and enact a fucking draft without having the consequences. Alright? And I guarantee you, those consequences are going to be pretty fucking serious. And so, the next one is going to be the psychological operations. Now, we can go from the fucking Aurora shooting where the guy dyed his hair 4 or 5 times for his fucking photo shoots, all the way to the fucking Sandy hoax bullshit, to the Parkland and the fucking weirded out David Hogg motherfucker out there talking about me with his little commie fist saying thinking he was going to take the guns and shit. You know, all the way to January 6th. January 6th is the most like the death of fucking, well, you know, between January 6th and fucking the COVID bullshit, it ultimately killed every fucking psyop. Now you got motherfuckers out there, I think it was what, 60 to 40% that even think that the Trump assassination, me being in the 60%, was staged. Do you understand how that doesn't hurt Trump at all? I mean, you know, it does a little with the independents, but it damn sure doesn't hurt his base. You know, because his base is about the 40% of the population. However, that 60% damn sure isn't going to vote for the fucking people who started staging the fucking events. Which we already understand this is what the Democrats fucking do. So I meant, you know, they have a history. Nobody trusts them. The independents, all of the people that have been calling these motherfucking, these things, these performances, stage psychological operations. I've already said you're going to go ahead, use them psychological operations too much where nobody's going to give a fuck about them anymore. And this is where we're at right now. The media carries no fucking influence with society. You only garner about 1% or 2% of the population, 6 million as a whole. And that's probably between all the media. And you can confirm this by your fucking algorithm on Twitter. Because that's all on Twitter is the media snobs at all. And we can tell that it's not a very big proportion of it. So, yeah, your psychological operations have absolutely killed the fucking party. So then we go here to the Black Lives Matter movements. And this is all identity stuff, whether it be the pussy hat wearing motherfuckers back in the days, the BLM bullshit. All of your identity politics has absolutely destroyed the fucking party. It's destroyed, you know, a lot of it's put unnecessary animosity out there in the culture between people, and we were doing a hell of a lot better before Barack Obama went ahead and decided he was going to implement a large portion of these propaganda bills to create these race-baiting fucking diversity crises and shit. So now, you know, there's a lot of shit the Democrats have to answer for, and regardless, when Trump fucking wins, and he most certainly fucking will, you fucking Republicans can't sit there and say, oh, well, we can't do anything because, you know, the Democrats. No, we ain't going to hear the fucking shit anymore. You know, these motherfuckers are going to have to be put on tribunal. these motherfuckers are going to have to answer for a lot of the fucking crimes that they did. You know, HR, USC 18, 241, 242 very vehemently explains. Now, I don't believe you have to go to the harshest penalty, which would be the fucking death penalty, but I do believe that they need to answer for their fucking crimes. And as far as I could tell, you owe us about $33 trillion of fucking resources. And we're going to take that out of you, I do believe. Enforced indentured servitude. You wanted communism, you're very fucking welcome. You're about to get fucking communism. And you put them into forced labor camps. That would be the solution. That would be the ultimate solution. But, you know, these motherfuckers have to answer for the fucking crimes that they've committed against the fucking country. We have to hold these people accountable. And, you know, this is just a necessity. This is exactly what it is. Because if you don't hold these motherfuckers accountable, they're going to think that they're justified in doing evil. And this ends up being where we're at in this country right now. So this leads to number 2, which is the insider trading that they end up doing. You know, they end up hitting it with all these fucking tax penalties, and they go ahead and accumulate all this money. You go ahead and look at the fucking Comicov fucking crisis and shit, and I think Moderna was at $16, $18 a stock at some point in time, but because the media and the government caused such great calamity and was trying to force everybody to get the fucking VAXX, well, guess what happened to the Moderna stock? It ended up shooting up to $246 a stock. And this isn't the only time they've done it. They've put money into Tesla after going ahead. California ended up implementing some sort of fucking everything's got to be electric, which was stupid. It wasn't a rational bill. It wasn't to help anybody by any, because now you fuck up the electrical grid because you're demanding everybody drive an electrical car. Me, myself, I'm a fuel cell guy, and it was a better alternative than the electrical cars because you don't have to sit there and charge up a car for hours and whatnot. It's fuel cell technology, and it's a hell of a lot more efficient than using the electrical cars. So, and I mean, you know, even if that's the case, you should have used hybrids. That would even be better. But you didn't even use the fucking hybrids. So I meant, you know, pushing these bills, you go ahead, drop all this fucking money into these stocks, and you make a fucking killing off the legislation that you write and push for. So, yes, we already understand this. You can't hide the shit anymore. This is the apocalypse, as I've already stated before, and your fucking sins come out pretty fucking quickly. And so, everybody can see this shit and they say, hey, that's fucked up. You know, why are we doing this? Why are they sitting here pushing this stupid legislation to go ahead and profit off of? You know, this is exactly what we're looking at right now. So you have too many of these motherfuckers that are in positions of power putting their money into these stocks. This is why you get fucking Bernie Sanders and fucking Elizabeth Warren and Nancy Pelosi worth $38 million. And mind you that like fucking what's the other fucking goof's name in Kentucky? The one that's fucking like he's got Parkinson's or something. I forget what the fuck his name. That was Republican goof McConnell. That motherfucker does the same thing. So it's not just strictly to fucking one fucking party. However, whenever the goofy bastards sit there and push this legislation and you're holding the bag, which you are right now, well then we're going to demand that justice be served. And unfortunately, it's hot potato. You're holding the fucking hot potato. So at number 1, we look at the LGBTQ reprobate fucking just derogatory bullshit that they fucking advocate for. And they think that they feel comfortable by pushing this stupid fucking shit here. Everybody else was fucking outraged by this right here. They've absolutely had a fucking enough, and it's not only just Christians, which you'll say, you Christians, it wasn't mocking, it was Diocletian. No, fuck you. You don't get to fucking talk anymore, alright? It wasn't even only Christians that were insulted by this. It was fucking Muslims. Everybody is insulted by this. Nobody wants to see this. And I don't really give a rat's ass because this is the Paris shit, but I'm not worried about Paris neither because your fucking people are going to be the ones that are going to end up, you're building up this animosity right now from regular people in society where it's going to be like the fucking Bastille. So I hope I hope you understand the French Revolution because the shit's going to happen, only it's going to happen in reverse where you fucking reprobates are going to be, you know, the fucking working class, and these people, the majority of the population, are going to get sick and tired of it, and they're going to march their way up there, and they're going to sit there and remove you. And if it becomes lynch mob justice, well, we understand how that turns out. So you might as well as go ahead and accept my position of having tribunals and getting some sort of, I don't know, due process. Because, as far as like, but it doesn't really matter because I don't have any platform. Nobody's going to listen to me. So it doesn't matter how much I advocate for us doing forced labor camps and getting some real fucking returns from these people. I don't have that platform anymore. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and go in to the fucking Democrats' platform. So this is the Democrats' platform right here. And it doesn't matter what a fucking Democrat will tell you. It always comes down to these three things. One is infanticide. They'll say, oh, it's just a woman's right to choose, and it's a zygote. In my opinion, nobody gives a fuck about your opinion anymore. All right? You had your right to choose. You had your right to choose, but that shit was taken away whenever you decided you were going to go ahead and mandate fucking vaccines. Your right to choose is fucking gone. You can't use that anymore. A woman's right to choose. You don't believe in a woman's right to choose? That's not an argument that you can use, and that's not an argument I'm willing to listen from any fucking leftist at this point in time. You denied millions and millions of women the right to go ahead and choose, and you demanded that they go ahead. I was let go. I was fired because I wasn't going to go ahead and take that fucking vaccine. I didn't want to fucking participate in that damn cytokine storm bullshitty thing that you had. However, you went ahead and denied that. So you don't believe in people's right to choose? Fuck all. So yeah, it's just infanticide at that fucking point. If it's not about a right to choose, it's all about infanticide, and that's exactly what your fucking position is. So, the next one that they're for is tax extortion. And I just explained this in the video of how they go ahead, take your tax money, and try to find ways to funnel this shit into their personal fucking accounts. And into special interest where they can go ahead and profit off you as much as they can. So that's exactly the other thing. So, I mean, whenever they sit there and talk about fucking climate change, they're not talking about, they don't give one iota of fuck. They have used fucking the climate to go ahead and collect trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars and haven't so much fixed a fucking doorknob on a energy efficient fucking, home at all. They don't care. And then the last one is euthanasia. When they talk about LGBTQ rights and all these other fucking rights, that's what they're talking about. When they're talking about transgenders and pushing the transgender shit, they're talking about euthanasia. When they're talking about single women and promoting this fucking promiscuous lifestyle, and most of these people who are living as a result of that are living just, in some sort of fucking depression or manic depressive state and whatnot, that's what it's about. It's about euthanasia. It's not about your fucking freedoms and individual rights. So this is the fucking platform of the Democrats. So let me ask you this. Why would anybody reasonable vote for the Democrats in their own best interest? This makes no fucking sense whatsoever. Trump doesn't have to run on fuck all at this point in time. The Republicans don't have to run on fuck all at this point in time. All they got to do is let you promote your fucking mental illness, and that's it. So we'll go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and get into and you know what? I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna do the best possible scenario for Kamala Harris in this. This is the absolute best that Kamala Harris will do, I think, in this election. So, we'll go ahead and give DC to Kamala Harris. Like I said, DC will never fucking change. It will always, vote for the fucking Democrats. I'm going to go ahead and give Maryland and Delaware to Kamala Harris. However, I'm going to make New Jersey red. I'm going to make Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts blue. You know what? New Hampshire I'm going to make red. Vermont I'm going to make blue. So right here, right now, Kamala leads 41-18. But that's not going to be much winning for Kamala going on. So I'll go ahead and give her New York. Oh wow, okay. So she looks pretty competitive. I'm going to give Trump Maine, Trump Pennsylvania, and like I said, this is not what I believe. I believe it's going to be, I believe New York is going to flip, and I do believe Virginia is going to flip, and I believe that it's going to be a strong landslide for the Republicans as a whole. It doesn't matter who the fucking vice president is. Nobody cares. Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. They're not going to be able to rig Georgia once again, and Florida. So with all these right here, we see it 69 to 129. Trump has taken a commanding lead. I'm going to give Trump Iowa, Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, and we'll go ahead and give Kamala Illinois. So, you know, and this is based on polls that I've heard. However, you get a shock as Minnesota flips, Iowa flips, or Iowa stays. All these right here are going to always stay red. They're just deep red right now. And we'll go ahead and make New Mexico will be blue. And this is the best case scenario. Makes sense because New Mexico is pretty much controlled by most of the government. It's government-owned land. We're going to give Trump Utah, Nevada, Idaho, and I'm going to go ahead and give Colorado the flip and give it back to Trump. So now Trump is at 364. This is to 93. And now here's a shocker because I've been hearing a lot in Washington. Washington may flip to the Republicans. And so, yeah. We'll give Oregon and California to Kamala still. We'll give Trump Alaska and Kamala Hawaii. This is by far the best case scenario. Do I think that? I think what is going to actually end up happening is that New York flips, and whenever New York flips, it screws up everything. If New York flips and Virginia flips, Virginia's going to flip, so that means that Maryland, in fact, I'll go ahead and change this Maryland one to red. And the only reason why I'm changing it to red is because generally, you know, these states usually vote in a block. So like if New York flips, you know that probably Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island will likely flip because they kind of all vote in that block. And you know, the shit that goes on in New York goes on in those little areas too. So if they have these issues in New York, they're going to have them in like Rhode Island and these other things. And so it's the same thing with Virginia and Maryland. Generally, if the shit's bad in Virginia, it's bad in Maryland. So this is the best fucking case scenario. Before anybody says, oh yeah, Kamala's up in all these fucking states, Kamala doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell, and Biden didn't have a snowball's chance in hell. It's still going to be a landslide. Because the Democrats haven't figured it out. Your policies are shit. Nobody likes you. Nobody likes your mainstream media. You only have like 2% of the fucking country watching any of your shit. 40% of the fucking country doesn't even know who's running against fucking Trump. They don't even know that Kamala's even running against Trump. You have 60% of the country that has no interest in voting. I am included in that 60%. And you have 35% of the fucking country that absolutely detest anything with the Democrats. And only 2% of the country that are going to follow along with this stupid fucking propaganda, media shill bullshit. And so, I actually think that the landslide's going to be a lot bigger. This is based on the metrics that I've seen. This is based on the numbers that I've seen regarding the bigger news stories, whether it be January 6th and the media polls that it came out of January 6th, whether it be the October 7th surprise of fucking Palestine or fucking Hamas attacking Israel and looking at the organic traffic on YouTube and as much as it was trending, and looking at the reaction of these media shills over the United States as a whole. I do think that the landslide will be a lot bigger than this. I think that it's going to be this is what I think it's going to be, especially after October. This is right now. But after October, and whenever this Inflation Reduction Act really starts to hit, it's going to be hard for the Democrats to really maintain anything across, and they may lose California as well. I'm just being nice and giving Kamala her home state. This is what I think it's going to end up being. Usually they win their home state, but this is what I got it as, 481 to 57. Kamala will win her home state of California. Come on, and I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't even win that. And DC will never vote for a fucking Republican, so this motherfucker would be, you know, fucking 533 to 3. You know what I'm saying? The DC will never vote for the fucking Republicans ever. This is like a, you know. So anyways, yeah. I wanted to go ahead, do a video, and explain exactly why the Democrats aren't popular. They're popular, I guess, on Twitter, and that's a marginalized. I mean, they're doing the whole fucking Trump is weird hashtag. JD Vance is weird hashtag. Fucking MAGA is weird. But you're only getting like 10,000 shares and retweets with that shit, and notices and mentions and shit. So it's not like you're really influencing any fucking thing. It's an echo chamber. Twitter is your echo chamber, mainstream media. Nobody outside of fucking Twitter knows what the fuck any of you are talking about, because you've marginalized yourself to that level of only being 2%. That's like essentially what Twitter has become, is only 2% of the fucking population. That's it. So yeah, go ahead and keep on tweeting and trending all kinds of stupid shit. Nobody cares. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. You people tell me what you think. You like, sub, do the shit the internet tells me to do to get over. And for now, I'm out.